Shalom, shalom, greetings to you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, wherever you are. Grace to you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. What a blessed day, what a blessing that God has made available unto us so that we may grow, especially in knowing Him, because in Him we discover ourselves. And those are, the highest form of knowledge is knowing yourself. And you never know yourself unless you know Him. Knowing Him will help you know yourself. When you get to know yourself, that's the highest form of knowledge that will help you here on the earth. You know that you can't do much unless you have found out who you really are. The crisis that is the most deadly crisis in the world is called the identity crisis. And if you are to do a deep study, you will realize that even battles, wars, unrestless, evil taking over in the world, people engaging into things that are cruel or wrong, you trace it back, it discovers the issue of identity. There's a man called, in the Old Testament, the man was called Jephthah. So the man was a very great man, of course, who turned out to become a great man who lived in the times of Judges. So you read in the book of Judges, you find that man there. And this man, before he discovered his identity, due to what had happened in the past, the way he was born, they were accusing, in fact, it's not accusing, but when you grow up and they are telling you that you were born out of bedrock, or they're telling you that your mother is not known. I don't want to use the words that are, that sounds heavy and evil. But you see, this is what he faced in his time. And so because of what he had heard, saying that he has the brothers were supposed to help him, to embrace him, to welcome him, rejected him. The man felt that rejection. But there was a talent, there was something special in him. The man was supposed to be great, and the man was supposed to serve in order to bring life and light. But when you study his life keenly, you realize he now opted to go into destruction. He organized some young people, some young men, and they were attacking here and there. It was terrible. So he was now known everywhere because of what he was doing. There's a kind of something like rebellion in him. Of course, he was meant to be great. In fact, their leader was supposed to be their leader. But now, since he didn't know who he was, everybody was speaking or telling him what he was not. Well, he acted accordingly. And he was a problem. You know that what we see in the world today, the people who are causing problems everywhere in every society, is a lack of identity. They don't know who they are. And then they will use their energy, channel their energies towards evil and destroy lives instead of protecting lives. So that's the contradiction we see in that man. He's actually a very wonderful, he serves as a good example to prove prove to people, every man who doesn't know himself will never live up to his destiny. Until man discovers who he is, then he will be able to fulfill his purpose. And if you are finding yourself propagating and causing chaos and even the world involved into all manner of evil, something is wrong. And that wrong thing is you haven't discovered your true identity. And that's what you're suffering. But when we look on the outside, people don't really know that this man is expressing himself. He's actually showing forth signs of the crisis he's going through. It's called identity crisis. And how many people know how to read that people are going through identity crisis? They would do all manner of things, because a man with his identity clear, when his identity is clear to him, there are things he'll never get himself involved in. He will never get into those certain things. You just know your limitations. You just know what you can do and what you can't do. You just know where you're supposed to spend your time, because it's clear who you are and where you're going. So most people suffer here on the earth, and a lot of chaos they have caused is because they are suffering on the inside. There are what we may call conflict. So there's this conflict going on the inside. And so it's manifested it's manifested in a different way. And people are involved and they are crying. It's a way of saying, I need help. But either them, nor or others who are around him, they seem not to see it. They don't even know why they are doing what they are doing. But most times they are pursuing something which is already in them, and they are looking for that very thing out there. And that will never come to pass, because what they are looking for is not to be found out of themselves. What they need is to actually look on the inside, by the help of God, to discover who they are. Otherwise, there are issues we have here as a consequence of lack of identity. If you see, many times, why is it that we find young people in certain things that are very destructive, and then later in life they realize they made wrong choices when they were young? I will tell you, the issue is not the energy they have in them that is causing them to do all those evil. The issue is their energies were not channeled towards their purpose and identity. The issue here is they didn't know who they were. They didn't know who they are. They didn't know. And so what they did, they didn't mind. And that's why they say they don't care. But one day they will care, when sometimes it's too late. So what they need now is to discover who they are, so that every step and decision they make will be spot on. If they're not going to fail, they should make some decisions that are based on who they are, on their identity and purpose. That will help them. See now? Because they have energy, but the energy cannot be destroyed. It has to be channeled. So if it is not channeled into the right place, it will be channeled into the wrong place. And that's what happens most times. So young people in general, they suffer lack of what? Of identity. And that's why they engage into anything. But if they knew who they were to become in 5, 10 years or 20 years to come, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there are things they wouldn't go into. There are things they wouldn't involve themselves in. There are things that would prevent themselves to get in, because they know what they are going to become. You see now? That is how, once you know who you were, it is going to solve a lot of problems. Now, having said that, I'm still saying that authority in life now, it is not about age. You can have authority over yourself. even at the young age, because of where you're heading, when you know who you are. If we look at this in James chapter 3, verse 9, it says, with it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse people who have been made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come both blessing and cursing. So now the writer is so amused, so startled. It's like, how come that in the same mouth you use your tongue to curse and you use it to bless God? You see now the conflict, the contradiction? Because you don't know what your tongue is capable of doing. When you use your tongue in cursing, that means into destructive path. It's going to destroy you and those that are connected to you, that were supposed to be saved by you. Use it to bless. It's going to bless you and those that are in the path. In your path. He's showing the power of your tongue. He's showing you the power of your tongue and what the tongue can do. It can either bless or curse. What does that mean? It means you can live as a blessed man as a result of your tongue, or knowing your tongue and term it and know how to use it rightly. Or you can be a victim of your tongue because you don't know how to use it correctly. So knowing your tongue and what you have in your tongue, or what your tongue is capable of doing, will help you to direct it or use it right correctly. If not, you will destroy yourself. In fact, you will be the first victim of yourself. Do you know that before we become victims of others, we are victims to ourselves first? We are the predators at the same time victims. And this is a very complicated situation now. So hard to solve. If you are the predator to yourself and a victim at the same time, what do you expect others would do to you? Okay? That is why we've got to know what we have in terms of tongue and what the tongue can produce or what it can do. Do you know that you have the ability to curse your path, to destroy your path? Because it says with this one mouth, in your mouth, you can use your tongue to curse. Could it be that your journey and your life, you've been cursing it and you don't know? Speaking words unconsciously, and look at where you were and you think somebody else is doing it, but yet you are the victim. You are the first victim of yourself. And secondly, could it be that you can bless yourself and set the course that you're going to follow by your tongue? Could it be that you are able of doing it? Yes. Once you know this, you know authority is in you. Shalom, shalom.